Hello, everybody, and welcome to my new podcast. I'm coming to you live from the squeakiest chair in the world, so let's just get into it. Welcome. To be completely honest with you guys, this is my third time trying to record this. It's a bit harder than I thought to just sit down and talk, but I've got my fingers crossed that this is going to be the one. It's definitely not going to be perfect. There might be some pauses, some cuts, but that's okay. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I'm excited. So let's just get into it. The first thing I wanted to talk about was why I'm starting a podcast. And for that, there's a few reasons. One is while I'm not technically quarantined, I'm still working. It's not a bad time to start a podcast because I'm not really doing anything else besides working on videos and staying home. So that's one reason. Oh, it's the 5th, I think. The 4th, Saturday, April 4th. So that's when I'm recording this. We're in the middle of the coronavirus pandemic. So that's part of the reason why I'm starting it. And I mean, also I've been wanting to do this for a while. I mean, I'm a huge fan of podcasts. I listen to a ton of them. Pretty much every day. I at least listen to one, sometimes multiple. So I figured, why not start my own? So here we are. And I also just kind of want to give my perspective more. That's kind of my goal with all my YouTube videos, is to share my perspective, my take on things. And while it might not always seem like that, that is kind of the underlying goal of them, but it can definitely get lost in like however I'm trying to do it, because really they're also supposed to be entertaining too. That's the main point of them, but there is like an underlying idea or something I'm trying to get across in all of them, which is tough in a YouTube video, but with this I think it'll be a little bit more straightforward. I mean, I just talk about it. That's really what a podcast is. So that's kind of part of it. And then also I just want to be producing more content and be more consistent, because I mean, try to post YouTube videos consistently, but I mean, I just can't. Sometimes I'll get into a groove or like a flow and be posting a lot, but that never lasts too long. Not because I'm not trying to, but it's just usually I just run out of ideas, or I get an idea for something that takes a while, like what I'm working on right now. If you're watching the video version of this, the thing behind me is part of a video series coming out hopefully soon, but I've been working on that for like a month. So I want to just be more consistent, try to do these weekly. I don't think they're going to be super long because it's just me. I don't have that much to say. And yeah, a therapist is too expensive, so I figured I got to talk to someone, so I guess I'll just talk to you guys. I also think it'll help me flesh out some of my ideas. I think a lot of the times, at least for me, I'll have an idea or a take on something, whether it's video related or just general, like in my life. I'll have an idea on whatever it may be, and it seems so solid in my head, but then if I go to try to articulate it or actually set it into motion, I quickly find out that it's not so solid because it just lived in my head the whole time. And for an idea to be real, I think you have to get it out into the real world somehow. And one way you can do that is to talk through it, which I think really helps. And I don't do that for everything I think of, which I think I would like to do, at least like to try, if that makes any sense. So kind of, help me come to terms with my own thoughts too, I guess, is kind of what I'm saying. But yeah, I think that's mostly it, why I want to start a podcast. And I think it'll just be fun too. Maybe fun for you too. So I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, moving on. The other thing I really wanted to talk about is obviously the coronavirus. I'm sure you've heard so much about it. I think it's the only thing anyone's talking about. But I mean, how can I not talk about it? Because it is crazy. So I remember first hearing about it like the first week of January, maybe a little bit later than that. But ever since then, I have been following it pretty closely. I know when it first happened, though, I thought like, oh, this will just be China's problem. They'll have to deal with it. It'll never get to America. I mean, right? I mean, like Ebola, that was like a third world country problem, which is awful. But for some reason, I just thought like, oh, it can't affect us, which was obviously wrong. It's April just started, and it seems like things are only getting worse. There really doesn't seem to be an end in sight. And yeah, I try to look back at what I thought when I first heard about it. Like, I don't know what my logic was, thinking that it wouldn't affect us, but whatever it was obviously wrong, which I think it's the same thought a lot of people had. Like, it's happening over there and it'll stay over there. But yeah, it has quickly become a global problem. I've gone through waves though. I started really taking it seriously probably in February. I don't know. Time has been so weird lately. But when I started really taking it seriously, really, paying attention, I'm still going through these weird waves of like intense panic, and then I'd be like okay with it. I know, just kind of like living my regular life. And then I'd go through another like phase of fear, panic, and then I'd be fine about it again. And I don't know if anyone else feels that. I don't know if it has to do like with what I'm reading. Sometimes I'll read like something positive, like they're trying out new vaccines already. There's promising drugs that already exist that might help. But then I read like, I don't know, the death toll or how much worse it's going to get before it gets better. And then I, go back into that really deep fear hole, panic hole. But I would say that's probably how most people feel. I think it's just not even like with what I'm researching and stuff. I think that's just a normal way to process it. If there is a normal way, because this is so unprecedented. I've never experienced anything like this, which I don't think anyone alive really has. The Rolling Stones were supposed to come to Buffalo in the summer. I think it was like July or August, which will probably get canceled, obviously. But I just got me thinking about Keith Richards, and I just thinking like, oh man, if he dies from this, that's when we'll know it's serious. Because that guy, I mean, he can survive anything. So I'm holding out hope that he makes it through this, because if he doesn't, I mean, I'm going to be scared. And you should be too. Because, I mean, that guy seems immortal. And yeah, I don't know. I don't really have that much to add to it either. It's funny. I've never really liked amusement parks, but I think just because I can't go to one, I really want to go to an amusement park. Out of all the things like no one can do right now, for some reason, I would just love to be at an amusement park, like surrounded by people, and it would just make me feel like things are normal again, I guess. I don't know why I want to go to one so bad because, like I said, I'm not really a fan of amusement parks, but I don't know. I really want to go to one now that I can't. But hopefully things go back to normal somewhat soon. I mean, like I said, I'm still working. I work in a pizzeria, and our business is way down Monday through Thursday. Like a couple weeks ago, it was down like 80%. It's slowly getting a little bit better, but we actually do fish fries on Friday, and since it's Lent, our Friday business is just crazy. I mean, we are so busy on Fridays. I guess it's partially because a lot of restaurants that usually do fish fries are closed, restaurants and churches. So we're one of the few remaining places you can get a fish fry around here. So everyone who has, that tradition to follow to only eat fish or not eat meat on Fridays comes to us. And then also I just think people get a little bit stir crazy by the end of the week, just spending so much time in their house. So, they just order takeout just to get out of the house, switch things up a little bit. But yeah, I mean, we get absolutely mobbed on Fridays. It's crazy, but I don't know. I'm happy to be working, even though, I'm kind of putting myself at risk of getting it. I'm still young, so I mean, I'm not super worried, but I am grateful that I have a job still, that I'm still getting paid, and I get to leave the house. I would go crazy just being in my apartment all day, but I don't know. It could still definitely happen. We're just playing it kind of week by week. Hopefully, I really hope we can stay open, but if we can't, we can't. I don't know. I guess we'll just have to figure it out as it goes on. But yeah, hopefully, I hope we come out of this a little bit more grateful for how things are normally. I mean, I know I've always had it pretty good. I mean, living in America, a first world country, stuff like this usually doesn't happen. So things are usually pretty good, and it can be easy to forget that. But now I definitely don't think I'll be forgetting it anytime soon. But yeah, I think that's that. It has given me a good amount of time to work on videos, though. So that's good. I mean, I can't go out and film like I kind of had plans to do, but I am working on a series of videos right now that will hopefully come out pretty soon. I think I'm almost done. Like I said, if you're watching the video version of this, I have a prop I've been working on like for a month now. That's kind of the center of this. So I guess, I don't know, I can talk about that. I have my notebook here where I just kind of jot down like my ideas, my sketches for my ideas for videos, just random ideas I have in general. And I think it's pretty interesting. I have like the first mock-up of what I'm doing for this video in here. And I'm not going to go too into detail, so this might be kind of confusing. But basically, all I have is just like a box with a timer on it. Oops, sorry. A box with a timer on it, and then some lights. And then over time, as I started working on it, I kept building on it, getting new ideas, and it's slowly turned into what it is now, which is a lot more than just a box with a timer on it with some lights. I think it's pretty interesting. Like, you can see my progression in this sketchbook, but that's kind of just how I work. I don't like to have, well, it's not that I don't like to. I struggle to come up with like a lot of ideas just sitting down trying to brainstorm ideas like in my room. I I really like to work like hands-on. I like to start a project, even if it's very basic, and then just let it take me where it takes me. Because as I work on whatever it is, I start to come up with more ideas, more things to do, which I never would just in the ideas phase of it. I have to actually start working on it. So because of this, I a lot of times end up spending a lot more time on a project than I thought I would. I mean, I would say a majority of the videos I make, I'm like, all right, I know what I want to do. It's going to take this long, and then I'll have it up. And even still, how long I think it's going to take, it's pretty much always double that, which is funny because I know that. So I'll think like, all right, it's going to take this long. And then I'm like, all right, I know I'm never right. So I'm going to double how long I think it takes. So I double it before I even start. And it's like, all right, it's going to take that long. And then it ends up taking double that, what I already doubled. So I don't understand it. But that's kind of what happened with this project. It was supposed to be like a week of building this prop behind me. And then I was going to get into filming and uploading. But I mean, this thing behind me took over a month to build. I mean, I would say I almost found myself trapped in it. I found myself 2-3 weeks into it, and I knew I had like still maybe 2-3 weeks to go on it, but I mean, I couldn't stop. Like, I already put a lot of work into it. I'm not gonna just give up because it's gonna take too long. So I kind of found myself, in a jam where I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm not going to be uploading for a lot longer now because I have to finish it. But that's okay. I mean, if it takes a little bit longer, it takes a little bit longer. I think it's going to be a good set of videos. But I was also kind of looking at it like it probably wasn't worth it to spend so much time building just this one thing. Like, if my goal, which it is with my YouTube videos, is to grow, get more subscribers and views, spending a month on just a prop probably is not the best use of my time. But like I said, I kind of got trapped in it, which again, I'm okay with. I think I'm going to be proud of what I make. So that's more important, I guess, than views and subscribers. I just wish, I don't know, like, looking at it, you'd be like, why did that take so long to make? But it's like, all right, if I just start completely over, I could probably make it in like a week, maybe a week and a half. But part of my process, like I said, is coming up with new ideas as I'm building it. So I didn't have that idea in my head when I started. It was something completely different. And as I was building on it, I was iterating on it. I was changing things. I'd have to go back. I had to figure out the best method to do some things, which just ends up taking time. But yeah, like I said, that's kind of my process. There's no really other way for me to do it. So that's kind of what happens. But like I said, at least with this podcast, maybe I can do this more consistently. It's pretty straightforward. Like, I kind of tried to do the same thing when I was vlogging. Like, I was just trying to put out a video almost every day. It was more like every other day, but I just wanted to be consistent no matter what. But even that was really hard because you needed some form of an idea. You had to go out and film, and doing that every other day or almost every day was super hard. That was a fun time though. I mean, nothing I made was really that great, but I definitely learned a lot there. But I say that just because with this, it'll be a little bit easier to be consistent. It won't be like as fresh or maybe as entertaining as like one of my videos will be, but that's not really the point. It'll just be more consistent. Like I said, it'll help me flesh out ideas, stuff like that. So that's kind of where I'm at. Yeah, hopefully I can get some videos out soon. I get so anxious when I don't post videos. I realized the more I post, the happier I am. So when I get trapped in like one of these projects, like I was saying, I start getting like restless and honestly even a little bored of it. I don't like working on one thing for super long, but I'm just getting like really into it. I still had fun. It's still a fun process for me. I still enjoy it. It's just like, so again, this is kind of hard to explain, but on it, there's like, I actually have a phone sitting in there displaying a video. It would make sense when you see it, but to get this video on the phone, it was like one of the last things I had to do. Oh, it's done, by the way, if I didn't mention that. But like one of the last things I had to do was get this video onto the phone that's in there. It's my mom's old phone that she let me borrow. It's a S6, I think. So all I had to do was I edited this like video to loop on my computer, and I just wanted to get it onto that Android phone, and I just ran into so many problems which I never would have foresaw. I was trying to do it over Bluetooth. Like, I have a MacBook and it does everything its own way. Trying to get it to the Android phone was super annoying. It took me like 2 hours just to get that simple video on there. And it was just funny because it was the last thing I had to do. It was just dragging on and on. Like my computer would glitch, the phone would glitch. It's like, oh my God. But I eventually got it. It's done. But yeah, I hope that kind of gave you a glimpse into my chaotic creative process. I'll definitely talk about that more in upcoming podcasts because I personally find it really interesting. I mean, I'm learning about it as I go. Like, it's almost like a different part of me. Everything I do that's creative, like, I don't know what's going to come of it, which I think is the fun part. That's why I enjoy doing it so much. But yeah, I just really like making things. I've been making videos for like 2.5 years almost. And I don't know. I don't ever see myself stopping anytime soon. I was recently thinking like, where would I be if I never uploaded my first video? And the reason I think about that is because I don't even fully remember why I made the first video I made. If you know that video, which you probably do, everyone knows it. It's my mustard video. I have no idea where the idea for that came from. Like, it seemed like divine. I don't know. It just came from nowhere. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do this. I didn't even really think about posting YouTube videos. I was just like, I've got nothing else to do, so I'm just going to do this, which I'm very grateful for because I love making YouTube videos. And, yeah, I hope you enjoy watching them. So I think I'm going to wrap this up here. I have no idea how long it's been, about 20 minutes. I think that's a good length. I think that's probably how long most of them will be. I don't know how some people talk for like an hour by themselves, but they do, I guess. It's definitely a skill. So let me know what you thought of this. If you liked it, I don't know the name yet. That's why I haven't said the name. So if you're listening to this, I obviously figured it out. And yeah, I'm going to be posting weekly. I don't know what day. So I'm going to kind of figure this out as we go. But other than that, that's about it. I will see you guys later.